All right, let's get into the Weekly Watch Report where we talk about the things we watched this week. Weekly Watch Report on Monday, Weekly Watch Report on Monday, Weekly Watch Report on Monday, Weekly Watch Report on Monday. Hey, guys, did you watch the Gabby Petito documentary?
No.
I thought about it, but I'm like, it just seems like
it's a really good,
be sad and
it's
depressing.
really good documentary.
It's on Netflix, right?
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's 3 episodes. It's really good. It is so fucked up. Brian Laundrie's parents deserve to be in jail.
Yeah.
Okay? Something is so fucking fishy with that family. It's actually insane.
Yeah.
It is. This poor girl, just so happy, so full of life. All she wanted to do was explore and travel and make her travel vlogs and just post on YouTube and just see the world and just be happy. And this fucking guy took that away from her, and it's extremely sad. There's really, obviously, there's no other way to put it. It's fucking devastating.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I feel so bad for her family, his family, bunch of pieces of shit. Like, I do not know how they're not in jail. Like, they knew.
Yeah.
You know, it's all.
There's so many details that I actually really don't
watch
know.
it. It's very interesting. There are things I didn't know either.
Yeah.
It's extremely interesting. All very fishy. You know, he went back to the house. The
Right,
parents
right,
kept
right.
telling
Yeah.
the cops that he was
I
in
know the
house.
parents were trying to cover for him a lot.
A lot. They basically, like, the mom wrote him a letter and wrote "burn after reading," and was and in the letter it was basically like, "I will bury a body for you." Like, this just insane shit. And then, you know, the cops couldn't find him. They couldn't find him. All of a sudden, the parents are looking for 1 hour. They find him and find letters he wrote admitting to murdering Gabby Petito. It's really sick. Like, there's something fucking off with this family. It's disgusting, but really good documentary.
Yeah.
You know, hard.
Is it one long one or like multiple parts?
There's 3 episodes.
3 episodes.
Her family's in it. You know, both of her parents, her step parents are in it. Some friends of hers, an ex-boyfriend. It's just extremely sad because you watch these videos that they have of her documenting the road trip that she was on with her boyfriend Brian at the time, and it's just so eerie to see. Like, she was filming all of this, and you could see it like broke my heart watching her film these videos, and she's like putting herself down kind of while filming the videos. You know, she's like, I'm so bad at this, but she's still filming, and they're beautiful videos. I don't know. It's just really, really sickening. Like,
totally.
So sickening, so sad. The situation where the cops pulled them over because somebody had called saying they saw a guy slapping a girl, and it was them in the white van, and then the cops questioned them, and Gabby is saying that she was the aggressor, and he was like she was hitting me or whatever. But in the phone call, and I do think that happened, but in the phone call, the person who called in said they saw a guy slapping a girl. So he was clearly hitting her too, but they made it kind of just seem like she was the one hitting him, and they put him in a hotel and left her on her own in a van. Like, the cops put him up in a hotel to get her away from her, but then left her in the van. It's like, it was so it was just so, why not put both of them in separate hotels, 2 different hotels? You know, you just put one person in a hotel and leave the other one in a van. Like, I don't know that. I mean, the cops in that situation really have to be kicking themselves a little bit, because one of the cops does say, he's like, a lot of times, you know, I forgot the exact words he used. He was like, a woman who's abused and she stays, like, ends up getting killed. Yeah. And that is what happened. Yeah. So just crazy details. I mean, his family is so fucked. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on in that house. I don't know. He was in the house, but he was never seen in the house, and then he escapes the house, but nobody catches him escaping the house, and then he takes his own life on the campgrounds, and his bones are found, and it's like, how were his bones found decomposed so quickly? But her full body was found. I don't know. There's just so many questions, so many details about. I truly think his parents deserve to be in jail. Like, they clearly had something to do with this. They knew what he did and covered it up. It's just so fucked up. But I thought it was a good documentary to shed light on what happened and more details that I honestly did not know really at the time that it was happening. I just remember, like, the search for him.
Yeah.
Like I remember this happening, and I remember everyone searching for him, and then when they found him or whatever. But I don't, I do remember like them talking about his parents and being like, there's something really fucking off with his parents. But there was a lot more detail. So I'll give it, it's hard to grade something like that, but I'll give it an A. I don't know what else to say, but I do feel it's just so awful for her family and for her. It's just such a sad story. The White Lotus, episode 2.
I haven't watched episode 2
Won't
yet.
talk about anything really. I'm kind of bored so far.
That's what my parents said, but I actually like this episode more than the first.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit bored.
It's always starts slow though.
It's picking
It
up.
is still like, yeah.
It's only the second episode. Like I feel like every White Lotus season starts kind of slow and to
for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
This one I think is a little bit slower than the other ones. I'll give this episode a B. It picked up towards the end, but for the first 40 minutes I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of liked all like the talking at tables and like all just the like they're establishing like the weird family dynamics
I love
and everything.
I love learning the family dynamics. But
and I like all the characters. Like I like where it's going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm excited to watch. I couldn't watch.
Yeah, it is funny like that the 3 women, like how they're just all talking shit behind each other's backs. Like that's what that's setting it up to be. Like they all hate each other.
Yeah, I love
the 3 friends. Yeah.
I love the different dynamics they have going on.
I like that. I like
family.
that group.
Yeah,
like I like that storyline
for sure.
Yeah,
the weird family.
The weird family is fucking
weird ass family.
Weird siblings.
Patrick's-
I mean, Patrick Schwarzenegger.
He's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Let me
He is
tell
a
you,
problem.
he's playing a great job at playing a freaking weirdo.
Freaking
freak. Very interesting. I'll give it a B. Still good.
Yeah.
I'm just like a little bit, Love is Blind.
Yeah.
I started it.
I watched the whole thing.
You're going to have hit or miss seasons, and I think this one's a miss.
Yeah, I agree. I think they just ended up in Minneapolis finding just all like the same people, different font. Like it's just when you look at all the guys next to each other, it's all so similar.
Mm-hmm.
And the drama is they're trying so hard. I feel for the editors of this season because I don't think they were working with much because the things that they ended up like leaving in, I was like, this can't be the best material that they had that we're like watching them talk about this or like the pods going on for 6 like it was really the pods. Normally I love the pod episodes. These dragged on. They really dragged on.
What's going on with the guy and his sister? I keep seeing people talk about everywhere.
Dave. Okay, here's the thing. Dave just does not like Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's the scenario he has found himself in. He loves his sister a lot.
I keep seeing he's like, I always thought I would want to find someone like my sister.
Yeah, he
she's really great.
Really cares about his sister. Really important. He keeps bringing it up, but he is stuck on the fact that Lauren, and maybe it's like I think it also might be a sex thing for him because when they were in Honduras, he was like asking all the other couples, like, have you had sex yet? Like, was like talking about their sex life. And he and Lauren had not had sex yet. And it came out that Minneapolis just maybe like too small of a city. I don't know. Everybody seems to know each other. There's too much going on. And there's too many like behind the scenes things that's not on camera. And like, that's where the drama is coming from. And that makes for bad TV. So like the drama is that Lauren was seeing this guy very casually, sounded like a hookup thing. It was like a friends with benefits. They weren't dating, but when she wanted to hook up with somebody, like this is the guy she called for like the last like couple months before she left for the show. He's stuck on like that she was seeing somebody before and how could she be ready for marriage if she was doing that right before coming to the show. And apparently the guy is putting like really trying to meddle his way back in. Either they said he was maybe trying to contact her, and the guy is friends with some of Dave's friends. So like he's telling Dave's friends like, oh, like we were seeing each other, like making it sound like it was way more serious. And then the friends are telling Dave, and the sister found out. Now he's all worried because the sister found out and is like all worried about that. And Lauren's like, I feel so bad for Lauren because she's like, you're not listening to me at all. Like, she's fighting for her life, trying to be like, why don't you trust me? Like, I'm telling you what really happened. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, that's what my friends are saying. So like, yeah. And it's just weird. And he keeps talking about her when she's right there. And it's weird. Like, they went and met with some of Lauren's friends. And Lauren's friends were trying to reassure him, like, we never met this guy. Like, they were not dating. Like, anybody she seriously dated, like, we've met. Like, this was such a casual thing. And he's talking about her. She's sitting right there. Like, she's, like, crying. Like, I don't know. I get sketch vibes from him. And I got sketch vibes from him from the beginning because in the pods he was like, yeah, I work, all the girls that I dated before, like, it was all really about looks, and like they're all sounded like he dated a lot of fake, type of ladies.
Right.
But he's like works in the Botox filler world and like see all these things, and he just keeps bringing up like Lauren is not the usual girl that he dates. So I'm like, okay, so you just don't like her, and maybe now you don't want to be a dick,
Right.
and like be on TV and be like, actually, you know what? I don't like you.
Yeah, and there's also nothing worse than a guy who like puts down like fillers, Botox, whatever, but then that is what they like, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're putting something down that you do like, but you're like almost mad at yourself for liking it.
See, I know guys like Dave, and he's like, yeah, I mean, I'm athletic. Like, I played baseball at the University of Minnesota, like, blah, blah, blah. He's just, like, kind of douchey.
Yeah.
And it seemed like maybe he was going to be okay. And now, like, this, I'm like, dude, let it go. Either break up or let it go, because this is, like, the stupidest thing ever that they keep fighting about this.
If he's never going to let it go now. Like,
yeah, and there's no, like, he's like, oh, well, why don't you talk to, he, like, won't let her. She's, like, trying to talk to his friends to be like, oh, well, can I talk to them? He's like, oh, I don't think so. Like, I'm like, what's going on here? Like, this is, it's very weird. The other couples all seem to be getting along swimmingly. Like, everybody else is like, there's maybe one other little hiccup at the end of these most recent episodes, but, and then, like, Taylor and Danielle, they tried to have, like, a really dramatic moment of, like, Taylor being like, I think he followed me on Instagram and like knew what I look like. And he was like, no, I didn't. And that they were like, okay. And now they're like totally fine. So I think editing had a struggle this season to really
probably
get some
some
juicy
things together.
Get some juicy stuff going. So we will see, but there was maybe a little hookup with Ben, like with some girl. Here's the thing: it's like a small town, so it's like when these people have like they dated around, they're on their phones now, and they're like, oh my god, this girl made a TikTok saying that she dated somebody that she knows is now filming Love Is Blind and blah 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 blah, and that seems to be where some drama's coming. But my god, like, are these guys? Ben, Dave, Danielle. I don't even remember the other name. Oh, Joey and Monica. I don't know about them. Joey like is literally just Wrigley from Tell Me Lies.
I saw people saying that.
Like, it's actually kind of crazy. And Monica and Joey are actually really entertaining because when they just start laughing about things that maybe aren't funny, but like that's clearly how they handle it. So it's just like, ha, oh my god, is that a red flag?
Yeah, like, they're like just trying to like pretend like it's not happening.
Like I could tell he thinks some of the things she's doing is weird, so he's like, ha, I've never seen that before.
He's like, maybe if I laugh about this, it'll just be funny.
Literally, that's all they do is laugh. And there's no drama. Their biggest thing is like, oh, maybe Monica's sister doesn't like him, and then also Monica's family uses a sock bin instead of normal. They have a communal sock bin instead of everyone having their own sock drawer.
I never heard of that.
No, nobody has. I think that's very unique to Monica's family. But
if that's where they wear their socks.
Yeah, so it should be very interesting. Even the other guy in the pod, I forget what his name was. That was between Meg and the other girl. One of those. It was also like an M name, I think. They just all look the same. They're the same just
Right, when they
white
posted the
boy from
casting,
Minnesota.
it was like, oh, so you just did
Yeah.
copy and paste of everybody?
Yeah, like it's
Boring.
actually kind of crazy. And I like, it's very sweet seeing their other families, I would say. Like the Devin and I'm already forgetting what. Devin, oh, then there was like a thing with maybe Devin reconnecting with Brittany. I don't know. You see the previews of like when they meet the other girls that they were talking to in the pods, but it doesn't really seem like that much drama. Virginia and Devin actually seem like a good match as well. But they're talking about real life stuff, which sometimes doesn't make for like the most entertaining show. Like she's like, "Hey, I think we should get a prenup." You know, they're talking about like very real, like, hey, if we get married, like, I think we should talk about these things.
Yeah.
So
It
it's
seems
just
like-
not crazy.
It just seems like things are maybe working out.
Yeah, like
this
it's
season,
like
and
right.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's actually like working.
there's like couples that like really get married and live happily ever after. you
right.
know? So
Which they might be like, all right, success.
Yeah, exactly,
You know, not the most
exactly.
drama filled. But I'll give that probably like a C- because, it's not giving the drama. Like, although good for them if it all works out, but it's not giving the drama that we love from that show. Traitors. Listen, another great episode.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, I haven't disliked somebody on TV like I disliked Danielle in a long time.
it's like, but isn't it a great feeling?
No, it's
Like,
like
no, sorry, Danielle, but like, it's really brought us all together again to be like, this is, couldn't be more refreshing to watch. I watched on my phone, couldn't believe what I was saying.
when she dropped to the ground. I saw someone write, Danielle acted like they actually caught a serial killer. Like the way that she dropped to
I
the
hated
ground,
it.
sobbing. Like, I knew it. I
shaking.
knew she was one of them. What
It was
the?
her
No,
in that stupid hat.
I genuinely.
Sorry.
Wait, Matt said the same thing. He was
the
like,
stupidest
he was
hat
like,
ever.
you know when you just like really don't like somebody on a show,
Yeah.
and then you just find that he was like, I hate this hat.
Yeah.
like, it's
You're
like,
picking apart everything.
it's
But
just-
objectively, that you can put that hat on anybody. It's a bad
a
hat.
stupid hat. No, but genuinely, I was like, oh my God, I really, really dislike what I'm seeing here. And now, listen,
It's so
I
frustrating.
can't tell if she's the best traitor of all time or the worst
I know.
traitor of all time. Because at this point now,
I know.
she has people sold.
She
but
does.
I have faith in Gabby.
I hope.
And I have faith in Dylan that they will uncover that the same situation that was happening between Danielle and Carolyn at that round table was a Bob the drag queen
Yeah.
and Boston Rob
Gabby said it.
situation. She was like, I'm getting flashback. It's giving Bob the drag queen, Boston Rob.
Yeah.
They have to stay on that. They have to because Danielle has to get out. Like
No, they have to.
I've never rooted for
have to.
Carolyn so hard in my life.
I know.
And I was like, oh my God, she's just not presenting. She was too busy defending herself rather than presenting an opposing argument for Danielle, which I feel like if she would have went hard on
yeah.
Danielle, then maybe they all would have changed and been like, wait, it's actually Danielle.
There's
But
so
she was
much
too
evidence
busy-
for Danielle, and she
Right.
gave none.
She gave none. She was too busy defending herself.
Yeah.
And I just can't get that image of Danielle dropping to the ground.
Oh,
being
no.
like, I knew it. Like as if Carolyn
Ridiculous.
has actually murdered some of Danielle's family members.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe what I was watching, and now I'm stuck in the is Danielle really good or is Danielle really bad? And I hate that I'm in that.
What do you think about all the people coming out and saying that she's been like she was swearing on her grandkids like off camera? Did you see that?
No,
I-
say
Yeah,
that.
like multiple cast
Somebody
members
people have said that, and I have to say this: I am not in favor of that. I think if you're gonna swear
yeah.
on a family member or whatever of your own, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being like, I'm not doing this, I swear. Like that's
Crazy,
crazy to
yeah.
swear
I think,
on like your own
Sierra,
family members.
Chriselle,
I
like,
will say this
Carolyn, they
though,
all said
Johnny
that.
Fairplay swore on his grandmother.
That should be just like a rule.
And
You can't swear on
it's-
family
no.
members.
Well, it's not a rule. That's if people want. Why should that be a rule? If people want to do that to themselves,
Yeah.
and make themselves look like fools and swear on their fucking family members or whatever,
Karma.
that's on them. Right. Johnny Fairplay did that in Survivor, and I saw people write like Johnny Fairplay's grandmother smiling down, thinking of people using this because it is one of the most famous things in Survivor that Johnny Fairplay swore on his grandmother.
Was his grandmother dead?
No, Johnny Fairplay claimed that his grandmother died, but she was still alive.
Oh.
So he told people
that's bad.
that
That's bad
his
too.
grandmother died and she was alive, and then later on he said he didn't regret the lie.
Yeah.
But so that's why people were saying like Johnny Fairplay's grandmother is smiling down. It's like, it's so insane. And it's like such an insane thing to do. It really is an insane thing to do. But you can't make that a rule that you can't do that.
I mean, even it's just like, it's the level of if you care enough or about that energy you're putting out in the universe. You know, like that's when people lie about getting out of things and they're like, I have a funeral. It's like, okay, you really want to use that as the excuse?
I would never use that as an excuse because I just think of karma.
No, totally. But let me tell you something.
Danielle clearly doesn't care.
If Danielle wins, if Danielle wins, it's going to be the most frustrating watch because it's like, we all see, and so many of the other cast members said it, they were like, oh, we didn't respect the game that Danielle played, blah, blah, blah. And that's so clear, but it's like, she just...
If she wins, you can't really say anything.
Yeah, if she wins, then it's like, okay, well, you all fucking fell for it.
And here's the thing, like people, although I dislike Danielle, but I really just dislike her for the theatrics, like the falling to the ground and all that. It's like you don't have to be doing that.
Yeah,
but
I also agree. I don't think she's playing a great game.
Her moves are not great.
She's lying her ass off for a reason. She has to. She's a traitor.
Yeah,
she can't not lie. She has to lie. But is she so annoying and like some of the things she's doing, like just incredibly annoying? Yes.
Carolyn really made some dumb decisions at the chess.
She did.
Thing.
Yeah, for sure.
She screwed herself big time with the game, definitely. Because I really think if she didn't do that, like it would have been on Danielle, like 100%. Mm-hmm. I think everybody was starting to lean more towards Danielle, and they should anyway. And I really hope Gabby sticks to her guns there, feeling like that was traitor on traitor. Sneaky, the funniest thing is that, like, if the faithfuls win and they get all the traitors and somehow Dolores and Tom make it to the end just voting for each other every table, when it's like, guys, come on, now you're getting down to the end and you're using your votes like that. That's like why even be there? Like what game? Like why even play the game if you're just gonna take jabs at each other this far along? Like at the first couple round tables, sure, but now there's like 8 people, and you're gonna waste a vote like that. And Tom being so set on Dolores is so bizarre. Like there's no. So I mean, like Dolores is just the kind of woman she's gonna throw it back at Tom, like no matter what. So
I don't know what kind of cat and mouse game Dolores and Tom are playing, but they
cannot keep voting for each other.
They're on an island of their own, just voting for each other.
Yes,
and it's funny.
It's taking them out of the game completely.
Right. It's funny, but at the same time, you're like, guys, you need to get your head in the game and start throwing votes on people that are actually talked about at the round table.
Totally.
Because Dolores just being like, I'm just voting for Tom because Tom's voting for me. And Tom just voting for Dolores is just so random. It's just because they're fighting. They're just voting for each other because they're fighting.
I know. And they really could have made a difference too, because I think Tom had a good relationship with Carolyn, so I feel like I feel like Tom would have voted for Danielle, and like then Dolores would have had a really important vote too, and that would have been 10 times more interesting
for sure
if they had all gotten involved in that vote.
They
flipped Tom and Dolores. Okay,
when they flipped both their votes, I literally screamed at the TV.
I was like,
"What are you doing?
I know.
Why are you guys doing this?"
Tom is so funny though. At the game where they're like, "Who's the biggest threat to the Traitors?" He's like, "I think it's me. I think it's me."
Tom is so perfect for this show. Sadly enough, him. When they're playing the game and he's like so adamant that he's the answer to every question, but then he actually was the answer. I was like, wow, just a real notch on his belt. That
the one where he
was
didn't say his name, and then even Alan was like, well, why didn't you say anything? Because he's like, I knew it was going to be me.
Right. No, I mean, he was so heavily saying it was him, and everyone was like, no, we think it's Dylan. And
so funny.
Oh, by the way, Parvati being like, Dylan is like Peter Weber, like Mr. Good Boy. I was like, yes, like she can tell. She knew before any of us watching that Dylan was giving Pilot Pete.
Yep.
But another great episode, solid A. I can't wait for this week because like, we need to know what's going to happen with Danielle.
I know.
I will just never. That's what. Like,
you think she's going to throw Brittany under the bus?
You know, I thought what was interesting.
Also, so stupid to pick the person closest to you as a traitor.
And Brittany literally, even in her moment when she was like, "If this is Danielle and she picked me, that's like
so obvious."
So obvious.
It's
like even Brittany was like,
obvious.
"Bad move."
You gotta pick like Dylan. Because you know what I mean. You just gotta fucking put Dylan in the seat and go rogue. You can't pick the person closest to you.
No,
it's like
that's why it's so annoying because every move she makes is so frustrating, but it's working with it. Like you know, Like it's like
Right. She makes a move, you disagree with the move, but
yeah,
then it
it's
works.
like the move sucks, but then it somehow works, and it's
Yeah.
so frustrating because nobody's caught her in any of these moves and been like, oh, we caught you, bad move. It's just been bad move after bad move that nobody's caught. So
Oh my God, it's crazy. I'll never.
does that make it a good move? I don't know. So
Yeah.
that's
I don't know what's gonna happen in this next.
Yeah.
I don't know either, but I cannot get this visual of her dropping to the ground as if
Yeah.
they actually caught a kidnapper in their home and got dragged out. Like
Yep.
it's insane. But that's all I watched.
So I'll give Love Is Blind episodes 1 through 9 a C. Just like very average.
Mhm.
And the episodes are too long, by the way. Like, just a little my last thought about it. It's like over an hour. Too long. They gotta. It's like they just didn't even have enough material to make them this long. They were talking about such stupid stuff. I'll give Traitors an A as well. So good. Just so
Solid.
good. Joe and I finished season 1 of Severance. Great. I understand why everyone said like once you get more towards the end of the first season. Crazy to me that this first season ended in 2022 and that's how long people had to wait.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
Thank
if I
God I
had
just
watched
started
season
it.
1 when it was on and the way season 1 ends is just like giant fucking cliffhanger.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, the second season didn't come out till 2025.
Severance
Crazy.
and Paradise are the top 2 on my list right now to watch.
Yeah, Severance. I thought it was really those like 7, 8, 9. I think there was 9 total.
I think so.
Yeah, really, really good. So I'll give that. I guess I was already grading. I don't know from where I left off. 5 through 9, I guess it is, or 4 through 9, whatever it is, was really good. Like A-. I thought it was really good. And I'm caught up on Beverly Hills. It's been fine. Nothing crazy. I'll give it a B-. And I have a few more other things to catch up on. Oh, I watched One of Them Days. Keke Palmer
Oh yes.
and SZA.
How was it?
Really good. Really funny.
Can you rent it?
Yes, yeah. Really good, really funny. Loved it. I mean, I just love Keke, like
Ugh,
truly. Like
the
she is just the best. And I thought SZA was also amazing. I thought it was really funny, really good. Haven't watched a movie like that in a while that was just like
Who's the guy in it? Isn't there
a
like
funny from start to end. Like all in one, one of them
Right.
days, just all in one day.
Oh no,
Have
Maud
a-
Apatow. That's who I was
Yeah,
thinking.
Maud Apatow. So I'll give that. I think I'll give it a B+.
Wow, that's a
was
high
really
score.
good.
On 95 on Rotten
As a
Tomatoes.
really high score on Rotten Tomatoes. I give it a B+. Like I really liked it. Good comedy,
Solid.
funny, got some good laughs out of it. Really good. That's all I watched.
Nice.
All right, I watched Paradise. I'm caught up.
Yeah.
So good. Like I don't know. I mean,
I gotta
honestly,
watch.
like other than the movie guys here, or maybe just Jeff Lowe, who I saw said it wasn't good, but he's gonna keep watching. Like
Yeah.
everyone's loving it, and I'm like so locked in. Like I'm so pumped like every week to just watch that show. It's an A- for me. Like just
Solid.
really good. I watched the first few episodes of Court of Gold, which is the documentary on.
So did I.
Oh, you did?
Yes. Yes, I did. I really like it. I forgot about
it's,
that.
It's like really
good.
well done.
Yeah.
Compared to like
Court of Gold as well.
it's the
Court of Gold
Olympic
is
men's
the
basketball
Olympic,
documentary.
yeah.
Oh.
But it's also like they cover every major team, not just the
Mm-hmm.
US. So it's like cool to see all the behind the scenes of each team like
Yeah.
in
Nice.
Paris.
I'll give that a B+.
Yeah. Like I think I was gonna give it a B+ too. Yeah, I think it's
What is that
well
on?
done. It's
Netflix.
on Netflix,
On
yeah.
Netflix.
I think there's 6 total episodes. I've only
Yeah,
watched
there were
like
6
2.
episodes.
Traitors, I'll give an A. Severance, I'll give it a B+, which I've given it a B+ the last
Yeah.
few weeks, and people are like, "How could you give it a B?"
Yeah,
Like,
B, yeah.
B+ is good.
B+
I
is
just
good.
like don't think it's a show that is like fully my cup of tea, but I still like really think it's really good.
B+ is high
But-
80s.
People are out here saying it's like better than Sopranos. It's the greatest show of all time. I don't think that's true, but I respect it. It's kind of like there are a lot of parts where I'm kind of bored. Like I know people are gonna like say that's insane, but it's slow a lot of the time, and I'm also very confused a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But I'll give it a B+. Like I still think it's really good. And then the White Lotus, I'll give an A-. Like think it's solid. I'm excited to see where that goes. And that's all I watched.
Amazing.
All right, good stuff, everybody.
Yep.
And that wraps up everything we watched this week.